The human named Aaron stood near the wide window of the alien research base, watching the distant stars shift slowly behind the transparent shield. He had been on this world for almost 8 months, helping with repairs, field missions, and small negotiations that the Alien Council found too tiring or too complicated. Humans were strange to them, unpredictable, too brave, too loyal, and sometimes too stubborn. But they still respected him, even if they didn't always understand him. Behind him, the automatic doors slid open with a soft hum. He turned slightly, expecting one of the council members or maybe a technician calling him for another inspection shift. Instead, he saw Lissari standing in the doorway, her silver eyes glowing faintly as if she had been thinking too deeply about something. She was from a gentle alien race known for their calm nature and soft voices, and she had been one of the few on this planet who actually enjoyed spending time with a human. But tonight, she was not calm. Her hands shook a little, her breathing was uneven, and her gaze kept dropping to the floor before lifting back to him. Aaron stepped forward. "Lissari, you okay? You look stressed." She swallowed, as if her words were heavy. For a moment, she seemed unsure if she should speak, but then she lifted her eyes and faced him directly. I have news," she said softly. Her voice trembled. "I'm carrying your child." The words hit Aaron harder than any plasma strike. For a long moment, he stood frozen, unable to think clearly. The room around him felt distant, the machines soundless, and everything seemed to slow down. Lissari held her hands together, waiting for his reaction, afraid of what he might say. Aaron finally blinked. "My child?" She nodded once, a small movement, but filled with fear, hope, and shame all mixed together. "Yes, it should not have been possible. Our species are not compatible. At least, that is what we were told. But the tests confirmed it. There is a new life inside me, and its readings match both of our DNA patterns." Aaron felt his breath leave him. He remembered the night months ago when he saved her during a collapse in the lower tunnels. The rescue had brought them closer, not in a romantic or physical way, but emotionally. She had trusted him with her fears. He had trusted her with his honesty. Their bond had grown from friendship, shared missions, and quiet conversations under the glowing lamps of the alien gardens. But never, not once, had Aaron imagined anything like this. He slowly approached her. "Lissari, you're sure?" Her fingers curled around a small data card she held tightly. "The medical unit ran the scan 5 times before telling me. They checked for system errors, energy field interference, false reading reflections, everything. But the results stayed the same. I am carrying a child, and its genetic imprint is part human, part you." Aaron placed a hand over his face, overwhelmed. Not angry, not upset, just stunned. "But how? We never—" "I know," she said quickly, her voice soft but steady. "We never did anything wrong. There was no union, no action that could create a child in your human way. I think this happened because of the energy transfer that day in the tunnels. When you carried me, your suit was damaged, and your life field mixed with mine. My species creates life differently. Our children are formed when 2 compatible life fields combine at the right moment. It is rare, but your presence affected mine during the collapse." Aaron lowered his hand slowly. "So this child came from that?" "Yes." Her eyes softened with worry. "I did not know until recently. I felt changes, small at first, then stronger. When I went to the medical wing, I feared I was ill. I feared something was wrong. But they told me I was not sick. I was creating life." He could see she wasn't asking for anything. She wasn't blaming him. She didn't want pity either. She simply wanted him to know the truth, because the child belonged to both of them, even if neither had planned it. Aaron took a deep breath and tried to calm his racing thoughts. Lissari, thank you for telling me. You didn't have to, but you did. That means something. She let out a slow breath, as if she had been holding it for far too long. I was afraid you would reject me. Or the child. Humans value choice. You did not choose this. Aaron shook his head firmly. Maybe I didn't choose it, but it happened. And I don't turn away from responsibility. Not ever. Her lips trembled with relief, though she didn't cry. Her species rarely cried. Their emotions showed through the brightness in their eyes instead. Right now, her eyes shone brighter than he had ever seen them. But what do we do now? He asked gently. Lissari looked toward the corridor leading to the council chamber. The council will not be calm about this. They have already been nervous about humanity's arrival in this region. The idea of a mixed child, something never recorded before, it will cause fear. Some will believe it is a threat. Others will want to take the child for study. Aaron's jaw clenched. No one is taking that child from you. Or from me. She took a small step closer, her hand almost touching his arm, but stopping just before contact. Physical touch was meaningful for her people, so she didn't cross that line without invitation. I knew you would say that. That is why I told you first. I need your strength. I need your courage. The child needs it too. Aaron nodded. Whatever happens, I'm with you. She finally breathed again. Thank you. For a moment, silence filled the room. Gentle, fragile, but honest. It felt like the beginning of something larger than both of them. Then the alarm sounded. A sharp, flashing red light filled the hallway outside, followed by an automated voice. Unidentified craft detected near orbit. Defensive barrier activating. Aaron's instincts kicked in instantly. They shouldn't be activating defense mode unless... A foreign fleet? Lissari whispered, her worry returning. He moved quickly toward the weapons rack near the wall. Lissari, stay behind me. I don't know who they are or what they want, but if they're here now, it's bad timing. She followed him, keeping close. This might be connected, she said quietly. If the Council Medical Wing recorded a hybrid child, someone may have seen the data. Aaron paused mid-motion. You mean someone leaked it? Maybe not on purpose, but our systems are linked to nearby outposts. News spreads fast in the galaxy, even when we try to contain it. Aaron grabbed a compact pulse rifle and armed it. If they came for you or the child, they're not leaving with you. I promise that. Lissari looked at him, her fear mixed with something deeper. Trust. Aaron, I know you will protect me, but you must also protect yourself. You are the child's father. The child needs you alive. He gave a faint smile. I'll be careful, but I won't run. They moved together through the silent hallways, illuminated only by emergency lights. The base trembled as the defensive shield activated around the city dome. Outside, the stars flickered behind the barrier, and distant shapes moved, warships slowly entering orbit. Lissari's voice shook. Those are not council ships. No, Aaron said. Those are hunters. She froze. Hunters? You mean collectors? Groups that capture rare species or unusual beings for experiments, profit, or political power. Aaron's voice hardened. And a hybrid child would be priceless to them. Lissari's hand lifted, and this time Aaron gently took it, giving silent reassurance that she wasn't alone. She held on to him, drawing strength from his steady presence. What do we do? She asked. We get to the command center, Aaron said. We warn the council and then we prepare. She nodded. I will follow you. He glanced at her stomach, then at her determined face. Lissari, whatever happens next, I'm not letting anything touch you or the baby. Not ever. Not while I'm breathing. Her eyes brightened again, full of emotion. That is why I told you. Because I felt safe with you. They continued moving through the base. unaware that the situation would become far more dangerous than either expected. The hunters were not here by chance. They had come because they already knew the truth, about Lissari, about the child, and about the human who would fight with everything he had to protect them. And the first shot from the enemy fleet was already on its way. The first blast shook the entire base like a distant earthquake. Dust fell from the ceiling panels, and the bright emergency lights flickered as the power systems struggled to stay stable. Aaron tightened his grip on Lissari's hand and pulled her into the nearest secure corridor. They moved quickly, almost running, though neither said a word for several seconds. The shock of what was happening had pushed both of them into survival mode. Finally, Lissari spoke, her voice trembling. "Why would they attack so fast? They didn't even send a warning." Aaron answered without looking back. "Hunters don't warn. They hit hard, take what they want, and vanish before anyone can react." She felt a cold chill move down her spine. "You think they want me because of the child?" "I'm sure of it. They wouldn't risk firing at a protected council world unless the prize was worth it." They reached an elevator, but the system flashed red. Transport disabled for safety. Aaron muttered under his breath. "Great. We're going to have to take the stairs." He guided her toward a side door, which opened to a long, spiraling emergency stairwell that led up toward the command level. Lissari held onto the railing as they climbed. "Aaron, are you afraid?" He didn't lie. "A little, but fear helps you think faster. It keeps you alive. And I'm not letting anything happen to you, or our child." Her steps slowed slightly at his words. A warmth spread through her chest. She had never imagined she would one day hear a human speak of a shared child with such seriousness. But Aaron was not like others. His bravery was quiet, not loud. His care was steady, not showy. And right now she needed both more than she had ever needed anything. They climbed 3 floors before the walls shook again from another blast. Lissari grabbed his shoulder for balance. "They're getting closer." "Which means we need to move faster," Aaron replied, helping her keep going. After several minutes, they reached the top level. Aaron scanned the hallway, pulse rifle raised. No enemies yet. Good. The large blue door to the command center stood slightly open, which was wrong. It was supposed to be sealed. Aaron motioned for Lissari to stay behind him as he approached. He pushed the door fully open and stepped inside cautiously. The command center was in chaos. Screens flickered with red warnings. Council members yelled instructions. Tactical officers scrambled to reroute shield power. And in the center of the room, the council leader, High Marshal Tarian, spun around with surprise. "Aaron, where have you been? We couldn't locate you." Aaron stepped forward. "Trying to get here. What's the situation?" The marshal rubbed his forehead. "Unknown fleet entered orbit, not responding to communications. Their energy signature matches hunters." Aaron nodded grimly. "Then the rumors are true. They're here because of the child." The entire command center fell silent. Every eye turned toward Lissari. Even though many already suspected something important had happened, hearing it confirmed so directly shook them. Lissari stepped forward, voice steady but soft. "It is true. There is a child. It is half human, half my species. It happened during the tunnel collapse months ago. The medical wing confirmed it." Murmurs spread across the room. Some were surprised, some confused, some afraid. The marshal stared at her for several seconds before speaking. "Lissari, you should have told us sooner." "I did not know sooner," she said firmly. "And when I learned, I feared it would be used against us." Aaron added, "And that's exactly what's happening now." Another officer rushed toward them. "Marshal, the hunters are launching small crafts, boarding units. They're targeting the southern docking ring." Aaron cursed under his breath. "That's close to the civilian sector." Lissari tensed. "There are thousands of people there." The marshal slammed a hand on the table. We cannot let them breach the dome. If they enter, they will search for the child, and they will not care who they harm in the process. Aaron looked around. What's the shield status? A technician answered quickly. Outer shield is holding at 67%, but the hunters use ion beams. It will fail soon. Aaron didn't waste time. We need to evacuate Lissari from this base. Lissari spun toward him. Evacuate? Where? Anywhere safer, Aaron said. They're coming for you. We need to get you out of their reach. But the marshal shook his head. Evacuation is impossible. The enemy fleet has surrounded the planet. No one gets in or out of orbit. Aaron exhaled slowly. Then we need another plan. A trembling council member spoke from the corner. We could hand her over. Lissari's heart stopped. Aaron turned sharply toward the speaker, eyes blazing. You even suggest that again, and I'll throw you out the airlock myself. The room went silent. The marshal cleared his throat loudly. No one is handing anyone over. We are not traitors. Aaron stepped closer to the command table. Hunters don't care about rules. They don't care about treaties. They take what they want. If we fight them, we need a strategy. A tactical officer raised a map of the base on the main screen. They are heading toward the southern docking ring. If they breach that area, they'll move inward toward the medical wing. If they want proof of the child, they'll go there, Aaron thought quickly. Then we beat them there. Lissari touched his arm. But that area is dangerous. I know, and that's why you're not going with me. She shook her head immediately. No, I will not hide while you face danger alone. Aaron turned to her with a serious, steady expression. Lissari, you're carrying a child. Our child. And right now, protecting you is more important than anything else I can do. I need you alive. Her eyes brightened at those words, full of mixed fear and emotion. Aaron, he lowered his voice. Please, trust me. She hesitated, then finally nodded. I trust you. The marshal signaled 2 guards. Escort Lissari to the inner vault. It has reinforced walls and private shielding. It's the safest place in the base. The guards approached gently. Miss Lissari, please follow us. Lissari looked at Aaron one more time, her expression soft and determined. She whispered, Come back. He gave a small, confident smile. Count on it. The guards led her out through a side corridor, and Aaron watched until she disappeared around the bend. Then he picked up his rifle again. All right, let's stop them. The marshal nodded. We're sending a tactical team with you. Aaron didn't argue. He needed all the help he could get. Minutes later, he and 3 alien soldiers ran through the hallways toward the southern docking ring. The ground trembled with explosions. Lights flickered. Distant alarms echoed. The hunters had already begun their forced entry. When they reached the docking ring, Aaron saw the problem immediately. A large circular breach had been burned into the outer wall. Smoke poured through the opening. The smell of melted metal filled the air. And from inside the smoke, tall armored figures stepped in. Hunter raiders. Their armor was black with glowing red lines. Their helmets had narrow slits like predatory eyes. They carried blasters and shock spears. One of the alien soldiers whispered, terrified. We can't fight them. They are too strong. Aaron raised his weapon. You can fight them because I'm fighting them. And humans don't run. He stepped forward, steady and fearless. The hunters spotted him and raised their weapons. Aaron opened fire first. Bright blue shots tore through the smoke, striking 2 raiders in the chest. They staggered back but remained standing. Their armor absorbed most of the impact. The alien soldiers joined him, firing rapidly. A hunter threw a shock spear that narrowly missed Aaron's leg and shattered the floor tiles. Aaron grabbed one of the alien rifles and fired again, this time aiming for the thinner joints of their armor, neck, underarms, sides. 2 raiders collapsed instantly. A third raider charged forward with a loud metallic roar. Aaron dodged, grabbed its arm, and slammed it into a wall panel, using raw human strength and adrenaline. The alien soldiers fired together, finishing it. For a brief moment, the room fell quiet, except for the crackling wires and alarms. Then Aaron's communicator beeped urgently. It was Lissari's voice, frantic, frightened, breathless. "Aaron! Someone found the vault! They're trying to break in!" His heart dropped. "Hold on, Lissari, I'm coming." He didn't wait for permission. He didn't wait for backup. He sprinted down the hallway as fast as his legs could carry him. He wasn't fighting for a base anymore. He was fighting for his family. Aaron ran faster than he had ever run in his life. Every step echoed down the long corridor, mixing with the alarms and the deep rumble of explosions overhead. His weapon bounced against his shoulder, and sweat ran down his face, but he did not slow. He could hear Lissari's frightened voice replaying in his mind, pushing him onward. Someone had found the vault. Someone was trying to break in. Someone was trying to reach her. And the child. He turned sharply around a corner, nearly crashing into a damaged wall panel. The base's lights flickered, making shadows dance across the hallway. Smoke drifted from somewhere above, but Aaron ignored it. He focused only on one thing, getting there in time. The communicator crackled again. "Aaron, please hurry," Lissari whispered, her breath uneven, her fear barely controlled. "I'm almost there," he said, forcing calm into his voice for her sake. "Stay away from the door. Stay behind the inner shield. I'm coming." He finally reached the vault sector. 2 guards lay unconscious on the floor, not dead, just stunned by some sort of energy weapon. Aaron checked their pulses quickly. They were alive. He moved forward slowly, raising his rifle. The deeper he went, the louder the metallic banging became. Something was hitting the vault door from the outside. Repeated heavy impacts that made the floor tremble. Aaron reached the corner and peeked inside the vault chamber. 3 hunters stood at the massive vault door. One held a plasma cutter, its beam slicing into the reinforced lock. The others guarded the area, scanning for threats. But their technology was not designed for patience. They expected Lissari to be inside alone and defenseless. They didn't expect a furious human soldier coming for them. Aaron stepped fully into the room, raising his rifle. He didn't hesitate, not even for a second. He fired 3 shots in quick succession. The first hit a hunter's shoulder joint. The second struck another raider's leg. The third shot hit the plasma cutter, causing it to explode in the raider's hand. The hunters roared in rage. They turned toward him, weapons raised, but Aaron had already moved. He dove behind a support column as a barrage of red blasts tore past him, burning holes in the walls. The heat singed his arm, but he didn't care. He fired back, aiming carefully. 2 shots hit their mark, striking weak points in the raider's armor. 1 raider fell to the ground, the second staggered, but the third, much larger than the others, charged straight at him. Aaron jumped aside just in time. The raider smashed into the column, cracking it in half. Aaron rolled on the ground, grabbed his rifle, and fired upward, hitting the thin plates under the raider's arm. Sparks flew, and the raider roared in pain, but it didn't fall. It swung its massive arm, knocking Aaron's rifle from his hands. The weapon skidded across the room. Aaron's heart hammered. He pulled out a small shock baton from his belt and activated it. The baton hummed with blue electricity. The giant raider swung again. Aaron ducked and slammed the baton into its exposed joint. The raider screamed and staggered back. Aaron rolled under its legs and struck again, this time hitting the side of its helmet. The shock fried part of its visor, but it still didn't fall. The raider turned and charged at him again, grabbing him by the vest and lifting him off the ground. Its grip tightened, crushing his armor plates. Aaron struggled, gasping, but he didn't panic. Instead, he grabbed the emergency flare from his vest, snapped it on, and shoved the burning light straight into the raider's visor slit. The raider shouted and dropped him. Aaron hit the ground hard, coughing, his chest aching, but he forced himself up. With the raider blinded and panicking, he grabbed his rifle from the floor and fired 3 more shots. This time, each shot hit perfectly in the weak points of its armor. The raider fell forward, collapsing with a heavy crash. The room fell silent again. Aaron stood still for a moment, breathing hard. Sweat dripped down his forehead, his lungs burned, but he did not stop. He turned toward the vault. "Lissari!" he shouted. Inside the vault, he heard her voice. "Aaron, is it safe?" "Yes, I'm here," he said. He approached the door panel and entered the emergency override code the marshal had given him. The lock disengaged with a heavy click. The thick door slid open slowly, revealing Lissari standing behind the inner shield, her eyes wide with fear and relief. When she saw Aaron, she stepped forward, her hands trembling. "I was so afraid you wouldn't make it." Aaron stepped inside and closed the door behind them. "I told you I'd come back." She didn't touch him. Her species didn't usually act impulsively, but she stood closer than ever, her eyes full of emotion. "Aaron, I could feel my life field reacting to danger. I thought they might hurt the child. I didn't know what to do." Aaron gently placed a hand near her arm, not touching, just close enough to calm her. "It's over for now. I'm here, and I won't let anything happen to either of you." Her eyes brightened again, a silent sign of deep gratitude. "You fought so many of them. For us." "I'd fight everyone in the galaxy if I had to," he said simply, and he meant it. Before they could speak more, the communicator crackled again. It was the marshal. "Aaron, report! The hunters are retreating from the docking ring. Their ships are pulling back." Aaron pressed a button. "The vault is safe. 3 raiders breached it, but I handled them." "Handled?" the marshal repeated, shocked. "Alone?" "Didn't have time to wait," Aaron said. The marshal exhaled with relief. "We owe you our thanks." "And Lissari's safety is something we must protect at all costs." Lissari stepped closer to speak. "Marshal, what now?" There was a long pause. Then the marshal answered, "The hunters are withdrawing. We think they realize their mission failed. But they will return, and next time, they may not attack alone." Aaron frowned. "Do you think other factions know about the child?" "Possibly," the marshal said. "Word spreads fast if someone wants it to. If the hunters learned of the child, others may follow." Lissari's breath caught. "We can't stay here, can we?" "No," the marshal said sadly. "Your presence, and the child's existence, puts the entire base in danger. We must find a secure place for you." Aaron already knew where this was going. "You want me to take her?" "Yes," the marshal replied. "You are human. You are identifiable as the father, and you have the instinct to protect. She trusts you, and you've already proven you can withstand hunters better than most of our soldiers." Lissari turned to Aaron slowly, eyes wide. She had expected many things today, but not this. "Aaron, we must leave together." He looked at her, really looked at her. She was frightened but strong, vulnerable but brave, carrying a child that should not have been possible, yet was now the most important life in the galaxy. He nodded. "Yes, we're leaving together. I'm not letting you face any of this alone." Tears did not fall from her eyes. It was not her species' way, but her eyes glowed brighter than he had ever seen them. "Thank you, Aaron." The marshal added, "A small transport ship is being prepared. It will take you both to a hidden colony outside Hunter territory. You will be safe there, at least for now." Aaron nodded. "We'll be ready." The vault door opened once more, and the guards escorted them carefully through the now quiet corridors. The base was damaged, but still standing. Soldiers saluted Aaron as he passed. Some bowed their heads to Lissari, recognizing her courage. As they walked, Lissari kept close to him, her hand gently resting on her stomach as if protecting the life inside her. "Aaron," she whispered softly, "I'm scared." "I know," he said, "but I'll be right here, every step." She looked up at him, trust shining in her eyes. "Our child will be special, won't it?" "Very special," Aaron said, "and I'll make sure they grow up safe and strong." They reached the transport hangar. A small, sleek ship waited for them, engines glowing softly. The door opened automatically. "This is it," the marshal said. "Go now. They may return soon." Aaron stepped onto the ramp, then turned to Lissari and extended his hand, not forcing, not demanding, simply offering. She looked at the hand for a long moment. Then she took it. Together, they stepped into the ship. The doors closed behind them. The engines roared softly. The ship lifted into the air, rising above the damaged base, above the glowing shield dome, above the world that had changed their lives forever. As the stars stretched before them, Lissari leaned closer and whispered, "Aaron, whatever comes next, I'm glad you're with me." He smiled faintly and whispered back, "Always." The ship flew toward a new future, a future where a human, an alien, and their impossible child would face the galaxy together, strong, united, and unbroken.